All right, hello everyone. Michael Baribault here, and I'm joined by Dave Stewart here, three-time World Series champion, World Series MVP in 1989 with the Oakland Athletics. And fascinating that the A's just got done playing the Giants over at Oracle Park, and I know you're around doing some A's broadcasts. But I do want to ask you first of all about your involvement with the Stompers. Now, you came out on opening day throughout the first pitch, back here checking out the Stompers again. What brings you out here?
Just like baseball, there's an off day, I'm not broadcasting any games. This morning I had an opportunity to work with some young men on their pitching, and anytime I get a chance to be around the ballpark, I enjoy being around the ballpark. And so I did that this morning, was able to grab a quick bite before I got here, and then I walked into the stadium. You guys were already in the third inning, so I guess when you say 4 o'clock start, you mean 4 o'clock start.
Yeah, pace of play, not an issue today so far, even without a pitch clock. What you said you were working with some of the pitchers. What are you telling guys that are at the college level that are trying to either get to that next level, maybe transfer from lower division college up, or maybe have pro aspirations?
Well, the college, the message is really the same at all levels. To start and play the game, to come out and start playing this game, you're going to be playing because you have talent, you have the skill to play the game. But to form consistency, you have to start thinking about what you're doing when it involves this game and making plans and preparation to do whatever it is you have to do for each day that you play the game. I would always suggest that it's the most important factor in this is to understand and know who you are as a player and who you are as a human being, to be able to play this game in the proper way, because there are so many obstacles in this game that create doubt. And if you're not confident in who you are, you're always searching for an answer when the answer may be there if you understand who you are as a player. And so I always recommend to people to really, one, concentrate on who you are as an individual and understand that and play according to that. But two, I didn't start having fun in this game until I stopped worrying about results of the game. And you can't, there's some things you can control and some things you can't. And the old saying is what it's always been: when you control the things that you can, you don't have to worry about the rest. And fun in the game starts to show itself when you're doing the things that are conducive to have fun. Nobody loves winning. Nobody loves losing. And so really just surrounding yourself and keeping yourself engrossed in the things that you can control will allow you to have fun in the game and eventually become a winner.
I think that's something that has definitely evolved over time, is that the fun in the game you see a lot in Major League Baseball. It's kind of trickled it down. You see the celebrations and the bat flips, and that's just one of the many things that has changed in baseball from when you played versus now. You have obviously the fun aspect. It's a heavily analytical game now. You have a pitch clock. You have all these new rules. I'm just curious your state of baseball with all these rule changes. I know they're trying to bring the younger fans back into the sport, but I'm curious where you're at on it from being a full-time player and seeing it now.
Well, a lot of the rule changes really aren't rule changes. They're just bringing the game back to what it was. I was talking to one of the kids this morning. I was telling him I pitched a 12-inning game in 2 hours and 35 minutes. So, you're really just getting the game back to where it should be. It's meant to be a fast-paced game. It's meant to be a competitive game. It's meant to be a game that you get the ball. When you're on the mound, you get the ball. You already know what you want to do. You step on the mound, you pitch. As far as the bigger bases, I think that's more for optics in the game. Base stealers are base stealers, and it's not going to matter if you add an inch more or 2 inches more around the bases. If you're a base stealer, you're going to steal bases. If you're not, then you're not. And so I think that the bases are just for optics. The throwovers to first base, I don't know that I have an appreciation for that. I think it takes away from the strategy of the game when it comes to pitchers and hitters. It does make it a little bit easier for hitters. I think as it is, hitters have it easy enough. So that may be one part of it that I'm not so fond of, but the rest of the game is going to be what it is, and I think that you'll find eventually as time goes on, the game will evolve back into what it's always been. You'll start to see starters throwing deeper into games. you'll start to see relievers in the roles that they should be in. I think that the opener will disappear because it doesn't really serve a purpose, and the game of baseball will be what it is.
Last question. We have you here. Why don't you tell the folks what you've been up to in your life so far?
Oh shoot, I've been doing so much. And I broadcast for NBC, Oakland A's games, pre and post game. I'm currently trying to lead an ownership group in Nashville, Tennessee, to be the first minority diverse-owned Major League Baseball franchise in Nashville, Tennessee. It's going to be expansion baseball. It's been talked about a lot. Nashville, the city's been talked about a lot. We're starting to get momentum in what we're doing in our team is called the Nashville Stars. I've been in baseball for 48 years, and so this has been everything that I do day in and day out. I wake up to it, I go to bed to it. I'm expecting that expansion will happen in the next 4 or 5 years. And when that time comes, that will be, like I said, the last piece of the puzzle for me, from player, coach, management. This is the last piece.
Last question before I let you go. You talked about expansion. How important is that to grow the game to other parts of the country, to where they don't have a professional sports team, and just growing the game in general? We hear that term a lot, growing the game, whether it's for the youth here in the country and even internationally as well. But expansion is also a big part of that. How important is that for Major League Baseball to continue to grow the brand of baseball?
Baseball is right now, it went from America's #1 sport to, we may even be 3 at this point behind basketball and football. We may be. But I think it's important. I think expansion is important. The commissioner feels that it's important. This is part of what he wants to do, and this will be part of his legacy, going from 30 teams to 32 teams. Some of the rule changes, as you've indicated, are to bring fans back into the game, to get more interest from our younger fan base. And I think that there's a possibility that could happen. We're finding that in neighborhoods of Afro-American kids that they're straying away from the game. And so Major League Baseball certainly wants to appeal to Afro-Americans, to get them not only playing the game, but to get them back in the ballpark. And so I think that all of this, the expansion, being a minority, majority, diverse ownership group, all of these things will be appealing to fans, Afro-American fans, but fans around the game to come back in the ballpark.
That's great. I surely hope this works out and we see a team in Nashville. Thank you so much for your time. Really appreciate it.
Thank you. I appreciate you talking with me.